Hey guys, it's Gypsy and you're watching Broken Barbie TV. So I had to go out of state. It was a store and an outlet that I had to go to find this doll. Yes, Walmart is in my neighborhood, but the Hasbro version, which is the one that Walmart carries, something about her seemed very scrawny, I guess. And the Disney store version seems like she's more solid. It reminds me more of the character from the movie. Now granted, I haven't watched the movie. I've seen a lot of previews. So those of you who did watch the movie, how did you feel about the way Disney portrayed this character in the movie? Don't post any spoilers because I haven't watched it yet. But yeah, just let me know. What do you think overall about Moana as a character? But as a doll, I fell in love. As soon as I saw the previews, I was like, yep, I hope Disney comes out with a version of her because I absolutely need to add that doll to my collection. So she's packaged quite interestingly compared to some of the other Disney Store princess dolls. She has some artwork on the back of the box depicting Moana and the male character and her little piggy thingamajiggy. It looks like an island setting. And then on the back it actually shows you how the box can turn into a boat. So you can recycle the box. That's pretty cool. And as you can see, the way that she's packaged in the box, she actually takes up a lot of the space in the packaging. That kind of adds to my thought that she seemed bulkier and like bigger, the way that the Disney Store created the doll as opposed to the Hasbro version. Also, this version seems like she has an older face. It's still cute and like teenager-like, but it's not as young looking as the Hasbro version to me. So here's how her packaging dismantles. So you can slip out the whole insert that she's attached to out of the cardboard part of the box. And the outer cardboard you can just throw away. And then the part that is attached to the doll, that's the part that's going to turn into your boat. So you have to carefully remove her and make sure that you don't just rip her out of that part of the box. So when you remove it, you're going to find a little slip inside. These are the instructions that show you how to remove the doll from the box and then how to transform the box into her boat. Moana comes with her boat paddle, of course. She's got on her two-piece outfit, just like the one that is in the movie and on the back of the box. The top part is like a bikini top kind of, and it's got a bunch of cute little prints on it. So, sort of like a tube top, I guess. And then the bottom part is like a hula skirt. So her paddle has a very nice design on it. It looks like it's made out of like wood, but it is plastic, and it does have a handle so that she can hold it. So her skirt has a little plastic cable tied down to the front of it. I'm just gonna snip that part off because I don't think it's supposed to be there. And when you open it up, you can see all the little tassels that are behind the skirt. Now, I don't know too much about Hawaiian or Polynesian culture or the style of dress, like traditional styles of dress, but those of my viewers who happen to be part of that culture, it would be lovely if you guys would drop a line in the comments to let us know how authentic this outfit is based on your knowledge of that culture. Also, is there a name for these tassel things that are hanging from her skirt? What is this called? I'm just curious. So as I move down, I'm noticing that she's got some really chunky feet, and they are flat, and she does not come with any footwear. So that's basically how the doll comes right out of the box. This is exactly how she looks. Based on what we're used to when it comes to 12-inch fashion figures, especially Barbie dolls, it appears as though Moana is much wider. I feel like she's not really wider. She just seems like she is because she's got a bigger head sculpt and her arms are a lot chunkier. So overall, it makes her body look as if it is like taking up more space, I guess. But her actual torso, I don't think that it's bigger than a Barbie's. Not by much. Also, her legs are quite large too. So let's talk about her skin tone. She's got a lovely reddish brown sun-kissed tone to her skin. It's similar to some of the Barbie skin tones that we've seen, but I couldn't find a match for her in the Made to Move doll line. She just has a lot more reddish tints to her skin than the brown Barbies that we have. They're more brown than they are red. Does that make sense, guys? Now she's got some really big hair, which I love. The texture of the hair, it does not feel like Barbie's saran quality in that it's not as smooth and sleek as Barbie hair. Even if the hair is very curly, usually with the modern day Barbie dolls' hairs, you can brush the curls and they'll just bounce right back. Her hair doesn't feel like that. You know, like Fancy Flowers, Fashionista doll, it doesn't have that kind of quality to the hair. It feels like if you brush this hair, it will just poof up and lose its curl pattern. I don't think that it's nylon. It's some kind of saran, but it's just not that same quality of silkiness. So just keep that in mind as you play with this doll because you don't want to accidentally damage this doll's hair. My suggestion to keep this hair tame is to initially give it a conditioner wash and then let it air dry and then just leave it alone after that. Don't put a brush through it. Don't finger comb it too much. Just leave it alone. Anytime it gets kind of crazy, just give it another conditioner wash and it should keep this hair intact for a little while. So to me, the rooting job, it seems decent. It's not the best I've seen or would expect from high quality Playline dolls, but it works because the doll's hair is so curly, it naturally creates like a dense look. If they had rooted this doll's hair any more than this, it would have just straight up and down been an afro. So to keep with the authenticity of the look of the doll's hair with the cartoon character, it makes sense that they only rooted it to this level. There are patches where you can see to her scalp. It's camouflaged really well because her scalp is painted to match the color of her hair, which is like a very dark brown. She does have a soft head. You could probably root in some more hair. It might not be the same exact texture if you don't like do it all from scratch, or add in some like highlights if you want to give her some different hair colors, but overall it's not noticeable. The important thing is that you can part her hair from the front in different directions and you don't have to worry about her having a huge gaping bald spot no matter where you part it from. Now, taking a closer look at her face, she does have this curious expression on her face where she's looking up and to the side. She's got this cute little smirky grin and one eyebrow is arched. She just has like a cute little look on her face. She looks very like sarcastic. Her lips are interesting to me. I mean, I think they did a really good job of depicting the actual face of the cartoon character right onto this doll. And the shape of the lips are so unique. And they're like a pretty like neutral color, like a shade or two darker than her actual skin, but just a little bit glossier. I like everything about her face, like the shape of her eyes. They didn't give her a lot of makeup. She's not all like glamorous, but she just has a lot of natural beauty in the way that her features are put together, I guess. She's got like a wide nose, but it's like a really cute shape, and just everything about her face works together. So I love this unique face that this doll has that you're not gonna just see duplicated on a bunch of other dolls. She seems so one of a kind, and I love that about this doll. She even has teeny tiny eyelashes, like tons of eyelashes drawn onto her eyes, and I like the subtlety of her having the eyelashes, but they're not like really long and thick as if her face was just slathered in mascara and eye makeup. So I think they did a really good job on the face up for this doll. I think this doll definitely does justice to our real life Polynesian sisters who are absolutely gorgeous and blessed with natural beauty. Definitely you're capturing that with this doll Moana. Also, while we're on the subject of her face, let's not forget her ears. They're big and just so cute. I love the way that her ears look. It just suits her. These ears are going to be fantastic to pierce. Alright, so let me show you some more details about her outfit. On the back of her shirt, there's Velcro to open and close it, and she also has these clear straps to keep them up. Now the clear straps are supposed to be like invisible because she is supposed to be wearing like a halter top. So if you snip those clear plastic pieces off, will the shirt stay up? Yes, they'll stay up. It's like elastic stretchy material. So if it really bothers you and you want to keep the doll looking as authentic as possible, you can absolutely cut those things off. But because they're not too noticeable, I wouldn't really be bothered by them. And let me just show you her boat paddle real quick. It is brown and it's got these cute like tribal kind of print on it, like carvings. It's only on one side, it's not on the other side. It's plastic, it's hollow, but it is sturdy. It's not something that's just gonna snap off and break as soon as you start playing with it. It's quite tall too. It's like taller than the doll. And that's pretty much the only accessory that the doll comes with, except for the necklace that she is wearing, which is like an amulet or some kind of pendant, where I think in the movie you could open it up and like put something inside of it, but on the doll it's just one piece. You can't open or close it. So her dress is really interesting, or the skirt I should say. It's a wraparound style, and she's got like many layers to it. Everything is sewn down, even though it looks like a bunch of different layers, so it's all one piece. What I found most interesting was that this tan part of it, the khaki colored part, this has like a really unique texture and look to it. It looks almost as though it's like woven. I don't know what kind of material it's supposed to look like it is. Like, I want to say burlap, but I know that's wrong. It just has all of this unique, like, it's got these cute little designs in it, and it's very island-like. It reminds me of like being on a tropical island and just being carefree and the wind blowing in my hair, and just something about the way, the style of the dress. It really brings that feeling to me when I look at it. I really don't know how to describe this fabric. It's soft, but it's also stiff. It's got a really interesting, unique feel to it that I've never experienced on doll clothing before, so I really like that about this outfit. So the front part opens with Velcro, and you can remove this skirt from the doll. You guys can see there she's got on some painted on underwear. It's got like the whole tassel thing that's hanging from it. It's lined around the inside of the skirt. Nonetheless, the outfit is adorable. I am one of those people that always takes my dolls out of the original clothing that they came in, and I don't really like to ever put the original clothes back onto the doll. This is the first time I actually questioned that when I was looking at this doll, because she's so perfect in the clothes she already comes in. She just overall gives me that feeling of a serene, tropical paradise. And like where I live in North Carolina, it's very beachy here, and all year round it's warm. I mean, it gets cool, but it's just not like how it was back in New York. So in my neck of the woods, it's very commonplace for people to put decorations in their house that reflect the atmosphere of like the beach and seashells and dolphins and the ocean and all of that cool stuff. And this doll is like the perfect decoration for that type of environment of a coastal region, or a summer beach house or something like that. She really like gives those vibes. I can see how this doll would be a very beautiful ornament in your house. There's even this interesting texture of like suede on this orange part of her outfit. It almost looks like suede and leather, the way that it feels and the way that it looks, even though I don't think it really is, but it just gives off that type of a feeling when you touch it. Her outfit in general, it just has a lot of little details, like the tribal prints, and even the way that they like cut along the bottom of her shirt and her skirt, all these little shapes and stuff. I think that that's really different, and just so much attention has been put into the details of the outfit. So I know you guys are wondering about her body type. She's got 3 points of articulation in her arms, at the shoulder, her elbow, and her wrist. Now, despite the fact that her body itself looks unusual, the fact that she's got joints in her arms is totally not, because it's customary for Disney store classic princess dolls to actually have articulated arms. This is definitely the first doll from Disney store with this chunky style body that of course isn't like a villain like Ursula or something like that. But yeah, this is like the first one of its kind. Now there's like a trend going on with different toy companies producing more curvier body types for us. And I know you young bucks are probably thinking, yeah, because Barbie started it, her and her curvy dolls. But that's total BS. No, Barbie was not the trendsetter for curvy dolls. Please give me a break. Lamely, I think, is the first mainstream fashion doll or playline fashion doll that really emphasized the curvy body shape. And then Barbie just decided out of nowhere that they were gonna do it too. So let's give credit where credit is due. You know, I definitely think that Lamley was the forerunner for that. But that's good because Lamley caused the competition to kind of open their eyes and try something different, and it's been working. So this is another one of these curvy style dolls that we can add to our collection with Moana, because she is very bottom heavy and has the chunkier, larger arms, and she doesn't fit the status quo of what a lead female role is supposed to look like on the outside, not to mention her brown skin. So that's definitely about something if you asking me. Now take a look at her hands. They're very huge. Her hands are really big compared to like a Barbie's hands, but they're also super detailed. You can see her actual nail beds, and that's gonna make it so easy to paint for those of you who like to give your dolls manicures. Her actual fingers themselves, they're squishy, they move, and they're all separated. So she's got tons of detail on her fingers, and I love that. She's gonna be such a dream to photograph when it comes to her hands and holding things. And even though the hands themselves are big, because it's in proportion to her whole body, they don't appear out of place. Don't get it twisted, these hands are not dainty in the least bit. However, when I think of Moana's character from the movie, I feel like she would be like a tomboy or a really strong-willed girl who's like always out in the wild, playing outside, swimming, fishing, doing that kind of thing. So I wouldn't imagine that she would have soft, dainty, tiny little hands. So the design of the doll's hands, to me, absolutely fit the character that she's supposed to be portraying, and I think that was a good thing. She doesn't look like every other doll, because I mean, we have tons of dainty, sweet little princess dolls that need some man to save her all the time. Give us something different, give us something new, and she's definitely bringing that to the table. So despite the fact that her hands are the soft vinyl that moves, the rest of her upper body is actually the hard plastic hollow vinyl. So that is not going to be soft, you can't squeeze it or anything like that. And of course her arms only bend in like the elbows, like they don't bend completely up to her face. You can't like pose her arms so that she can touch her face. They are supposed to be able to bend at like a 90-degree angle, but I don't know, maybe it's only like 75 degrees. You just have to play around with posing her and stuff, because she doesn't have the same flexibility as a made-to-move doll does. But who really cares, because she can be posed as if she's hula dancing, and that's all that really matters, right guys? Okay, let's get a better look at her legs, because I'm sure you're curious. They are made of that rubbery, soft vinyl that's solid, that most of the Disney Store princesses have. And they don't have any joints in the knees, which I really wish they would have done with a doll like this, but no. You can move her at the hips so that she can sit down, but she is going to look like a kindergartner. They split apart from each other quite well, though I'm not sure why she needs to do that, but yeah. Here's one of my pet peeves about dolls when they are put into sitting positions. I don't like it when the legs start to split apart from each other and like kind of form that V shape in the opening instead of a U where they're touching. Her legs do that. They look like, see the V angle that it creates? And the legs just kind of split apart from each other. I hate that so much. And her legs do that. I just had to point that out because I don't know if any of you guys feel the same way about these positions, but you know, I don't like to see my doll sitting like this. It's very annoying. In place of the joints, her legs have the snap and bend type knees. So you can bend it a little bit, but not that much. I'm showing you a comparison between one leg that isn't bent and the other leg that is bent, and as you can tell, there's not that much of a difference. So not sure why they opted for that with this doll, especially with her larger, chunkier legs that are a little different from the other Disney Store dolls. But again, if they ever do like a remake of this doll, or if they're gonna continue with this doll and like every year they kind of revamp the dolls a little bit, I would hope that they would do something about these joints, because God, it's just so old school. Okay, so people who manufacture the dolls, I'm talking to you guys. I know you guys don't play with the dolls, but I mean, get with the program. when we put our dolls in their seats, we don't want their legs sticking out straight in front of them and like kicking everybody under the table and unable to seat themselves properly at a couch so that they're always sticking their foot up onto the coffee table. I mean, that's the goal here. Alrighty, off with the rest of the clothes. Let's take a look at her whole body. So in comparison to the other Disney princess dolls, I think she does have a very different body. It reminds me more of like an older teenager's body rather than a woman's. I mean, that's all relative because people come in all different shapes and sizes. But I guess I'm thinking like typical or stereotypical teen bodies versus adult bodies. Overall, her figure is really cute. She's got like the thickness going on, and it's like I guess like an athletic body type. That's what I'm trying to say. She has that kind of a body, and I think it suits her very well. So on the right here, I've got Toko, and she is on a made to move body at the moment. Like, you can see that there's a difference in their head sizes. Even though the Disney Store princess dolls do technically have bigger heads than most Barbies do, it looks like Moana's head is a lot bigger than Toko's too. And then here's Satin, who is an Ever After High cerise doll, also on a made to move body, and you can see that their head sizes are a little bit closer to each other, so that should give you a general idea of how big Moana's head actually is. The biggest difference between these two heads really is like the size of the hole where the neck knob goes into the head. Moana has a much bigger circumference of that hole than Satin does, so that may present a problem if you're trying to rebody the doll and put other dolls onto her body or put her head onto another doll's body. Alright, so since some of you guys are scared to pull doll heads off of their bodies, of course I gotta show you so you can just live vicariously through me. Now, I did pull the doll's head off of her body, and I want to show you that her knob, the knob inside of her head, this peg, it moves around. So this is what allows her head to be pivotal or like tilt in all different directions. Okay, so the closest complexion I have to demonstrate this on is a made to move orange top body, so that's what I have her on right now. But you see how like wobbly her head is and how much space there is between the neck and the opening of her head. It's not, I don't think this is a good fit. Now, if her body was the same complexion as her head, and there was some way to kind of camouflage that huge gaping space between the neck and the head, then you might be able to get away with having her on a body like this, just to give her more articulation. I mean, it would really take a lot of customization to make this whole look complete, I guess, and not have her looking like a bobblehead. At the same time, we're always putting our Monster High and Ever After High dolls onto these bodies too, and it seems to work for them, and even those Project Empty Squared dolls. I guess it just depends on how you put the dolls together, but definitely the skin tone, this is not a match, you guys. Here is goodness gracious, what is this? Here's another doll on Moana's body. Now, this doll, like I said, has the orange top skin tone, and yeah, I don't know if I like this. Just something is not right here, you guys. For the record, yeah, body swap is not always the best idea. You really gotta like make sure your doll looks good on the body that she's on. But it would probably be interesting to see like a Monster High doll maybe on this body, because they're not really humans anyway, so you could probably get away with doing more fantastical body swaps with those dolls' heads, and it would actually seem realistic, I guess. Only problem is that the neck on this body is so wide that if the doll's head doesn't have a large enough hole to cover the top part of the neck, it will look very unusual. So that is the challenge that you have to kind of deal with. And also the peg in the neck, it's not one where you can like snip off the edges of those pointy parts that stick out. It's really hard to get the doll's head on and off with that thing. Yeah, so I would just leave Moana alone unless you're having some kind of crisis and you just have to experiment and put her on a different body. So here is Moana's outfit on Pokey. It fits perfectly. It's surprising but very promising at the same time. I'm really glad to see that my other fashion dolls can wear this outfit. So my theory is that Moana has a small frame. It just appears as though she's larger because her legs and her arms are much chunkier than the average fashion dolls. And now, some more good news. Moana can fit into Barbie's clothing. Of course, you do have to be careful about what you're putting on her. I would stick with stretchy fabrics because her arms are bigger. So if you use like something that has long sleeves and that's not that stretchy, it may not fit very well because her hands are big and you have to get her hands through those sleeves and then you have to pull those sleeves over her chunky arms. So that may not work well. So I would stick with short sleeves, stretchy sleeves, and no sleeves. She is going to fit into stretchy pants a little bit better because her legs are quite large and chunky. So you want to be able to get her big feet through those pant legs. You're just gonna have to use your common sense. But skirts, anything with stretchy fabric in it, maybe even some leggings that are like a little bit looser that you can fit on your curvy dolls, they may fit well on Moana. So just play around with the fashion that you already have instead of running out looking for stuff to fit onto this doll that may be harder to find. And if you need some suggestions for inexpensive doll clothing that you want to try out on a doll like this, I highly suggest the Sparkle Girls brand. It's sold at Walmart. They're only $2 per fashion pack for each outfit, and you can even get like a multi-pack that has like 5 or 6 outfits in it together, and very reasonable prices, and they fit a wide range of dolls' body sizes. So I would definitely try them out. If you haven't before, then go and check out some of our fashion pack reviews and fashion shows featuring Sparkle Girls clothing. As for her feet, here's a close-up of them. You can see that she's got distinct toes and a right and a left foot. However, the toes do not separate. They're quite large. I've tried Ken size shoes on her and they don't fit because her feet are wider than Ken's, even though they're shorter. Of course, Barbie's shoes are not gonna fit on this doll. So I'm not really certain what size shoe she needs or what doll's shoes she can borrow. For now, I guess we'll just have to deal with the fact that she can't really wear shoes. Unless you make her some, that's an option. Yeah, but they are squishy and they move around. Alright, so that's it for Moana's review. And like I said, we've got tons more videos coming up really soon. If you're not subscribed, you're gonna miss them. So make sure you hit the subscribe button before you go as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a dolly day.